gonna hide this tape when I'm finished. If none of us make it, at least there'll be some kind of a record. The storm's been hitting us pretty hard now for 48 hours. We still have nothing to go on. One other thing. I think it rips through your clothes when it takes you over. Windows found some shredded long johns, but the name tag was missing. They could be anybody's. We're all very tired. There's nothing else I can do. Just wait. R.J. McCready, helicopter pilot, U.S. Outpost North 31.
The film from 1982, The Thing, one of my favorite horror movies of all time, is a movie about paranoia. A paranoia that stems from the character's inability to trust anyone, sometimes even themselves. So, the developers of the 2002 game, The Thing, they had a problem. How do you translate this deeply psychological concept of paranoia into a video game? Well, they arrived at an innovative solution. A fear, trust, and infection system embedded into a squad-based gameplay. The idea was to recreate the film's central tension by ensuring the player could never fully trust their squad mates, much like the characters in the film could never fully trust each other. It's a really unique idea, and when it works in the game, it does make the interactions feel uncertain. You do question whether someone in your squad might just snap and start firing their weapon at anyone and everyone, or maybe they will all turn against you. Or worst of all, one could even be one of those things, just waiting for the right moment to strike. It's a game with big ideas, trust, fear, and infection mechanics that aim to capture the essence of paranoia, but its execution doesn't always live up to its ambition, and the result is a game that is undeniably unique, but not without some major flaws. So let's break down these mechanics. So, this is the squad menu, where you can see the status of your squad as well as issue them commands. The green bar here is trust, the red bar is health, their portrait is where you can see how afraid they are, and you can see here they're all calm, but when they are afraid, their character in the portrait will start getting a little bit crazy. When your squad trusts you, you can issue simple commands like wait here or follow me. You can even take their weapons. However, if a squad member does not trust you, they won't follow orders and will refuse to hand over their weapons. While this trust mechanic is a straightforward concept, it does tie neatly into the fear and infection systems.
What happened here?
Something. I don't know what they were, but they attacked us. I thought they was part of the... Wait a minute. Don't you come any closer. Where the hell did you come from anyways? Screw you. Hell no.
Also, if someone doesn't trust you and they are refusing to follow your command, you can point your gun at their head, and after a few seconds they will do what you say, which is kinda cool. Fear is another layer of the game's design. Squad members who become too scared may refuse orders, lash out, or collapse entirely. As you can see here, Williams and Pace are, they're pretty terrified. And in this state, they will not follow any orders or really do anything. Sometimes the fear mechanic works beautifully, immersing you in the squad's shared terror. For instance, walking past a grotesque corpse can really upset your allies.
I need an engineer.
If their fear begins to spiral out of control, they might just start shooting their weapons wildly in a panic. Then, if left unchecked, they will become catatonic, and finally, they will even take their own lives rather than face the horrors ahead. While this mechanic is undeniably creative and contributes to the game's atmosphere, sometimes in this game it can also feel, I don't know, a little bit inconsistent and frustrating, and it can break immersion rather than enhancing it. But when it does all work out, it is pretty fucking cool. But the infection system is arguably the game's most intriguing mechanic. During encounters with enemies, any squad mate who comes into contact with a thing creature, they have a chance of becoming infected, and once infected, they act perfectly normal until they don't. At any moment, they might transform into a creature and attack you. This unpredictability can be thrilling, adding a layer of tension to every interaction. You're constantly asking yourself, did that enemy get a little too close to one of my squad mates? Is he infected now? Here's a great example of the system in action. In one playthrough, I had no idea one of my squad mates was infected. And once that squad mate turned into a thing, I moved to take them out, and I accidentally flamethrowered my other squad mate in the process. But the squad mate I accidentally flamethrowered, he turned out to be a thing too. And it was like, holy fuck, they were both things. And I had no idea that both of them were things. I mean, I didn't even know one of them was a thing, but for both of them to be things, it's like, in that moment, it kind of did scare me just because it was like, fuck, this is so unpredictable. I don't know, it was really cool. So, while we're on the topic of the thing infecting people, I wanted to talk about how in the game, it kind of offers an interpretation of how the creature, the thing, operates biologically. Because in the film, the specifications of infection are left like really vague, like how exactly does the thing infect someone and like what is the process of becoming infected. According to the game, the infection is a gradual process with the host being taken over slowly cell by cell. The game posits that infected individuals might have some awareness of their condition before like fully transforming into a thing. This concept, it's probably not canon. I mean, I'm not really sure if this game is considered canon or not, but it's interesting to think about. I mean, like in this cutscene right here.
What the hell happened?
I'm not going anywhere. It's over.
What?
It got me. I can feel it.
I can get you help.
You know goddamn well there's only one option here.
No. No, I can't do that.
You don't have a choice.
Look, I won't let you die, asshole.
Come on. Can't handle it?
Come on, Pierce. This is crazy.
Like my dad always said, if you want a job done right, you gotta do it yourself.
It's interesting, it's almost like he's been bitten by a zombie or something, but instead of a zombie bite turning into a zombie, the thing slowly assimilates you from the inside out.
Pierce, it's Blake. It's okay. Put your weapon down.
No way. You're infected just like all the others.
I'm not.
Your word ain't shit, Captain. I found a report that says the only way to prove you're not one of those things is through a blood test. Now, there's a medical kit near the kennel. You go get it and come back here, and I'll watch you do the test.
Throughout the game, you can find limited-use blood test kits, which allow you to test yourself or your squad mates for infection. Using a blood test can restore trust among your squad if you're proven to be clean, or confirm your suspicions about someone who you think is infected.
You got the kit? Good. The report said the hypo contains a chemical that reacts with blood. Do it. We'll soon know, one way or another.
Now I'm gonna show you what I already know.
Maybe you will get us out of this.
While the concept of the blood test is really cool and directly tied to one of the most iconic scenes in the whole movie, the execution in the game falls pretty short. The blood tests are like way too abundant, so it kind of just undercuts their intended tension. I think if the resources were scarcer, this mechanic could have been way cooler. Early on in the game, the fear, trust, and infection systems, occasionally, they come together beautifully. These moments can feel genuinely tense, and maybe make you feel even a little paranoid. However, even for an older game, the systems feel very, underutilized. Like, you'll get to the end of a level with your squad intact, or maybe a few people in your squad still alive. And you've been keeping these guys alive, healing them, giving them weapons and ammo. And the next level starts, and all of a sudden there's some scripted event that happens in the first 5 seconds, and they just die or they're just gone. And it's like, what the fuck is this? And it's a deliberate design choice, and it just completely undermines the mechanics, the tension, and makes the whole game feel underdeveloped. But the core ideas behind the systems are really compelling. They represent a bold attempt to innovate within the horror genre. And even though the execution doesn't always land, the ambition does deserve recognition, I think. I wish more games today would take, creative risks similar to this. Because it really is creative, and while we're on the topic of creativity in video games, one element of the thing that stands out to me is the dialogue. While it may lack the complexity of modern storytelling, there is a charm to its simplicity that feels really rare in games today.
What the hell?
What do you think it is, Captain?
I don't know, and I don't care.
Looks like a goddamn UFO to me. This shit gives me the creeps.
Yeah, we're not alone in the universe and all that crap. Check it out and move on.
It embraces one-dimensional characters, which, in my opinion, can sometimes be a strength in video games. Unlike film or television, games allow players to project their own emotions and perspectives onto the characters because they are in control of the character, they become the character. Too often, modern games dictate how the protagonist feels, and there's just no room for the player's personal interpretation. And to me, a lot of modern games somehow end up feeling more restrictive somehow, with their quote-unquote good writing, because they assume some sort of universal reaction to their narrative. The player might not feel at all what the characters are saying, and it breaks the immersion of the game. So instead, I prefer when games use simple characters as vessels for the player's experience, allowing us to fully enter the role without being told how we should feel. If the game is well designed, it will naturally elicit emotional responses through gameplay and immersion, rather than forcing them through scripted reactions. I've gone off on way too far of a tangent here. Basically, the beginning of the thing starts out okay, it's pretty cool, and there's those super interesting gameplay mechanics. But sadly, the second half of the thing, it just loses a lot of the intrigue and tension that the earlier sections have, and it devolves into this generic third-person shooter that feels really uninspired. And I wish the game leaned further into its nuanced systems, forcing the player to rely on squad mates for survival while grappling with the constant uncertainty of their true nature. Anyway, The Thing was a unique film, and the game is a unique game. The mechanics and the systems built into it were really creative, and I had fun playing the game. If you're a fan of the film, check out The Thing from 2002. The 2024 remaster is on Steam now. You'll probably have fun playing it. This has been David with Consternation Evolved. Thanks for watching.
Excellent timing there, pilot. Early retirement from Gen Inc.
No, not exactly. On my way back from an extended Arctic vacation.
Uh-huh. So what's your name, smartass?
McCready. R.J. McCready. U.S. Outpost North 31.